Cafe quality milk without an espresso machine. That's what the new NanoFoamer PRO Gen 2 by Subminimal claims to do, but let's see if it lives up to the hype. So the new Gen 2 is aiming to take microfoam to new heights with some small but significant tweaks from the Gen 1 model. It aims to increase the consistency, the experience, and the overall result. If you're not familiar with the device, the NanoFoamer PRO uses the same technology as Subminimal's NanoFoamer Lithium, which has this impeller and mesh screen on the front that textures your milk to silky perfection, but now in an electrical jug that heats up your milk to the ideal temperature. Both of the devices have these impellers with a mesh screen on the front, and what that does is allow you to create velvety microfoam just like a cafe. And since not all milks texture equally, there are 3 different flow attachments that you put inside the jug that allow you to texture for dairy all the way up to the hardest alternative milks. The black flow controller allows in the least amount of foam, and then it moves up, allowing more foam in for each different flow controller. So we'll just give it a little test run here. So you can see inside there we've got a nice base and then a lid with the impeller on it. So you simply pop in your flow controller on the allocated marks on the side there. That magnetically connects to the side of the jug, and then fill it up with your desired amount of milk. You can go from about 100 ml to around 220. I like to do around 160, 180 for a flat white. Now pop in the lid and make sure that that's nice and secure so that it's all aligned. And the way that it works is there's a motor in the bottom with magnets that powers magnets inside the impeller to make it spin and texture the milk. So then to turn it on, there's this touch display on the front, and you simply touch it, with 1 being the least amount of foam and 5 being the most. And then there's also a cold foam function there. But we're going for a flat white, so I'm just gonna do 1 to allow in the smallest amount of air that we can. So you'll see in the front of the display that we're now heating our milk. It's then gonna aerate it for a small amount of time to allow bubbles in, and then it's gonna go into the texturing stage where it just spins the milk and makes a fine and velvety microfoam. So right now we're in the, oh, there you go, there's the aeration that just went on. So setting 1 is just like 0.5 of a second, super quick, small amount of foam. And now we're just texturing. So there should be no more air added at this stage. It should just be spinning it and heating the milk to the desired temperature. So when the device beeps like that, that means that it's at 60 degrees Celsius, but it's going to continue heating until it reaches 70 degrees Celsius, which is actually 5 degrees hotter than the previous model. So I'm probably happy with that temp there. I'm going to stop it. Let's have a look. We have some nice microfoam there on the top. For pouring latte art, I like to put it into a different jug. So I'm just going to split across into my pouring jug. I mean, look at that. That's pretty good. There's no big bubbles. That's all very velvety. Let's give it a taste. So you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that and a cafe. I've definitely had a lot worse at a cafe. That's really good. I'm impressed with that. It's nice that the foam can get fine enough so that you can actually do latte art with it. I think that's half the fun when you're kind of doing this as well if you're like a home barista. I mean, that's what I find a lot of the fun in. Yum. But let's dive more in depth into the features and see what we think. Now you may have noticed this little knob on the top. This is for micro adjustments. By spinning it, you can either raise or lower your impeller to create the perfect magnetic connection with the bottom of the base. So each click puts it down 0.4 of a millimeter. This is also going to allow you to adjust with different sizes of milk. So if you're someone that wants to be really particular about the amount of foam or what you're creating, this is great for you. But if you want to set and forget, you can do that as well. They've also updated the program mode so that you can get finer microfoam than ever. Setting 1 only aerates for 0.5 of a second and setting 2 for 1.4. This is going to be great for flat whites and smaller drinks. The new program modes are also going to slow down the impeller after aeration to make sure no more air is incorporated into the milk. This is going to ensure that velvety texture with no bubbles. And the new heat diffusion plate heats the milk more gently, so you're going to get less buildup on the bottom of the machine. This means that it's way easier to clean. It comes with this little brush and it comes off straight away. That was one of the main things that I noticed with this, was how much easier this one was to clean. So that was a huge upside for me. They've also made the entire device IPX5 waterproof so that it's completely splash resistant. So when you're cleaning it under running water, you don't need to stress about bits coming down the side or inside. Super easy to clean, and that was a big upside for me as well. If you don't have an espresso machine to steam milk, I think this device ticks a lot of those boxes of making cafe quality milk at home. And I think some of the features that Subminimal have added to the device have just made it that much, a little bit easier. Feels like they've listened to the customers, what their desires are from the product, and they've just made it a better user experience altogether. So make sure to subscribe to the channel to see some more product reviews. Let us know what you want to see next. And as always, coffee up. Kind of got there. Coffee up.